I'd like to clarify something. And I feel like the Lord wants me to share this because there might be some of you out there thinking, well, gee, I don't ever have, this girl is something else, all her dreams, all her visions. Well, you have to remember, this is over a period of 50 years. It's not like I don't really have them that often. And when I did have them over the 50-year period, I would write them in a book. And then eventually, now that 50 years have gone by and in the news and what's happening, things, it's like a little building. It's like something has been, God has been making a building here, of a tower to watch, to be able to stand on and look out and have a better vision. So I just kind of felt like I should share that, and so that nobody feels bad out there that they're not having dreams and visions, okay? And I certainly, I'd heard about people having visions. I'd never had, the first vision I ever had, I was already like 30 years in the school of Christ when I had my very first vision. And it really surprised me. And it's interesting because these visions, when you first wake up in the morning, you're awake, but you haven't opened your eyes yet. That's usually right in there is where it comes. And you just see it like a dream, but you're seeing it very clearly and you're awake. So the very first one I ever had, I was living in Hawaii at the time, and just at that point, before I opened my eyes, I saw, I had a vision of me driving. What I saw was the North Shore coming at me. It was like I was in a car driving, and the North Shore was getting closer and closer and closer to me. And when I woke up, I thought, that's strange. That was the first vision I ever had, and I wondered, now, should I obey that? Should I get in my car and drive to the North Shore? Well, I did. I got in my car and I drove to the North Shore. Well, when I got to the North Shore, I didn't know, I wasn't hearing any voices. I wasn't having any direction. I didn't know what I was doing. So I thought, well, I'll go to Sunset Beach and I'll park the car and I'll look out at the ocean. And, maybe the Lord will speak to me and tell me why I'm at the North Shore. So I'm parked in the parking lot in the little stall, or the lines, the lines and I'm looking out at the ocean and I'm feeling like a complete fool. I'm saying, God, I saw this in my mind and now I'm here at the North Shore and I'm feeling like an idiot. I think I'm going to go home. So obviously I missed it. So I went to turn my car on and it wouldn't start. The battery was dead. Now, in this car, I never had battery problems in the past and never had battery problems since then. And I had just driven about 30 miles to the North Shore. So, why I'm thinking, oh no, now how am I going to get home? Well, right as I'm thinking that, feeling like the absolute idiot of the century, a car pulls up right beside me, and it's a police car. And he doesn't know my trouble. He's apparently there. He's probably there to enjoy the ocean view, because it's so beautiful. So I get out of my car and I tell him my problem. And I said, oh, you wouldn't by any chance happen to have jumper cables in your car, would you? Well, he did. He had them in the trunk of his car. So he jumps my battery and he gets me going again. So I thought, well, Lord, maybe this is why I'm here. So I'm going to have a conversation with him and see where he is with the Lord. So I told him about what happened to me, about my vision, why I'm here, how my car never goes out, how he just happens to be in the very spot, so I asked him what was his relationship like with Jesus Christ. Well, he was a backslid Christian. So I said, well, I think the Lord is calling you back to himself. I think that's what's happening here. I think the Lord wants you to come back to himself. And back in those days, I used to listen to tapes all the time, but all they ever had back in those days was the prosperity message tapes. But I used to listen to them because there wasn't anything else to listen to, and then I would just get little snippets. The Holy Spirit would feed little, I would get little crumbs from it. So I felt really bad. I gave him my CDs, and I felt really bad giving them to him, because they didn't have the full gospel on it. But I hoped whatever was there might have been what he needed to feed him, and that was my very first vision I ever had. And then it was years and years and years and years later before I had another vision, and I don't even remember what it was. But maybe if it comes back to my memory, I'll share it. But remember this: we're talking about 50 years here. 50 years. So if you haven't had any yet, don't worry. There's some, well, there might have been years ahead, but I don't think we have years ahead now. I think God's going to do a quick work, so you'll start having your dreams and visions now. Okay, God bless.